Hey, it's John Shapiro, here we go. Knows the road rules better than most folks know. Ask your questions, bring the heat or keep it chill. He's got the answers and a license to spill. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. Badge, now a podcast star, navigating traffic laws near and far. Stop sign confusions or a signal light feud. Sean's the one to give you the right attitude. Yeah, ask your traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. From this man. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear.
What is going on? Happy Friday. I am excited to be here. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And this is Ask a Traffic Cop, where I answer your traffic and police questions for at least an hour most days. We aim for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. and Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. for After Dark, something where we're just a little off topic sometimes. We have guests. We do other things. Talk about movies, drones, whatever comes our way. The truth is, whatever you ask, we got answers for. But if you got questions, if you got things you want to talk about, this is the place to do it. Yeah, and we do it with the assistance of magical people like Diamond and Diamond Lawyers, who are our show sponsors. They help us keep the lights on, the internet rolling, and software doing software-y things. It's awesome, and we appreciate them. Also, if you'd like a chance to win $100,000 just for being a safe driver, check out the Great Canadian Driving Games. It's, well, how do I describe this? Turf partnered with Safer Roads Challenge or Safe Roads Challenge. I keep calling to put the extra R on the end, whatever. They're amazing. They have an app that will track your driving. So if you're accelerating hard, braking hard, turning too hard, it's going to record it. If you're using your phone, if you are speeding, it's going to record it. And it's not going to tell on you. It's not telling your insurance. It's not telling the big bad police what you're doing. It's telling, well, it's sending anonymous data to TURF, the Traffic Injury Research Foundation, and they're using that data to find out what drivers are doing, making the roads less safe. And if you're doing a great job, why not get credit for it? Because as you drive well, it gives you tickets for the chance to win $100,000. There's also small, events along the way where you could win a $100 gift card. I think there's just 250 different gift cards being given out throughout the event, and it runs till September 14th. So there's still lots of time to get involved. And I'm just excited to win $100,000, and I'm pretty convinced I'm a better driver than you. So if you want to compete with me, then go download the app. You can go to askatrafficcop.ca, and when you do that, I've got a link right in the top where you can get more information about the event. There's even an episode of Traffic Jam where I talk to the magical folks at TURF and at Safe Roads Challenge. Yes. What am I pulling up here? Oh, yeah. I wanted to show you that. Ask a Traffic Cop. Let's put it on the screen. Here we go. Sharing the screen. Boom. Yeah, that's the deal. If you go here, you can go to the website. I got the Join the Challenge button, and that will allow you to go to a website that will give you a QR code. Doesn't matter if you're on Android or Apple, it'll take you to the right place to get it done. And of course, while you're on the website, you can check it out. See, look at this. It's a website that looks magical. It's got information about stuff and things. It's my website. And I would suggest you peruse it, see what there is. Hey, if you're always asking about different products that you can buy to, whether it's a dash cam you're looking for, if you want to know how to try and, well, it's not a guarantee, but it's a way to prevent your car from being stolen by making it less attractive to would-be thieves. I got some products that I've listed here, ways to keep your fob from being duplicated, but there's also stuff they do for cell phones. Listen, there's just cool gadgets and tech that I like and endorse. And these are Amazon links, they're affiliate links. If you do happen to make an order after clicking on one of these, it will send a small commission to the show, helps us keep the lights on, just like the folks at Diamond and Diamond, because every penny counts. And we appreciate that. If you need this stuff, buy it through here. This is my favorite thing. I got to buy another 5-pack of these because they keep giving them away. But these are window breakers. Maybe I should just order like a gazillion of them so I can give them out at events. Anyway, seatbelt cutter, glass break. I think everyone should have one. They're important emergency tools. If you don't have one, you should have one. Go buy one. All right. Let's see who's in the chat. What's going on? Of course, Rizzy is first one in. Oh, he says, I sent you a DM. Of course, I can't access that right now. Can I? Let me see if I can get my DMs. Going to the TikTok. Hopefully it doesn't break the stream. I don't want to listen to this right now. Where are we going here? Oh, no. I don't wanna no, I wanna just get Rizzy's thing. Where's mute? Okay, there's pause. Messages. Messages. Do I see a Rizzy message? Oh, this is going really slow. I don't think you're supposed to have, like, 25 things happening simultaneously on your computer. It's probably a bad idea. Apparently, I have 51 unread message requests. I didn't even see that. You log in through the computer, and sometimes you see different things than you see, otherwise. This is not working right. I can't see stuff. I'll have to check out your question later, Rizzy, because it's not happening right now. Let's see here. What we got? We got Mary Lynn. What does Mary Lynn want to know? Tailgating, what to do? Pull over, or you pull over safely when you're being tailgated. I don't think pulling over and stopping is the right idea. I don't know if that's what you're suggesting you're doing, but getting out of their way. Like, what's the scenario? How many lanes are they? If you're in the right lane already and they're tailgating you, that's a them problem. Like, for real, I wouldn't do anything special for them. Let them do whatever they want to do. I tend to slow down, quite frankly. I don't pull over, but I slow down just enough to piss them off. Because if I slow down instead of speed up, they're not getting what they want. Now they have to pass me, and that's on them. I just try and avoid them. Now, if you're pulling over and riding the shoulder, you're doing something dangerous. You could end up blowing a tire. Like, the shoulder's not meant to be driven on. Although I've got some great video people have sent me of people just hammering down on the shoulder, which is such a bonehead thing to do. But that's another story. Hope that helps. Slowing down, pulling over might be too much, but if it works for you, I don't want to tell you not to do it. Just be careful. And just jumping into, what are we on? This is Instagram. YK here, crazy Christmas. Okay. Susie's here. It's Joyanne who's here. Body by Jeff is here. Ipsic Girl, how's it going? The Northern Cop, how's it going, brother? He says, Sean, how's it going, bro? It's going well. It's Friday, and I'm excited to be here. Yesterday was an awesome day. I actually went to an event. I went to Midland with us on a school trip as a chaperone. Shapiro chaperone, and I had a great time with my kiddo, and we learned all sorts of stuff. What a great thing. It was Sainte Marie on the Huron, among the Huron. So I've screwed up the title 6 times. I was so focused on learning, I don't remember the title. Anyway, Justin Anderson's in here with a question. I hear at night if you turn right, you're suspicious. Yeah, I'm sure that was a joke that was supposed to land differently. I don't get it, but okay. Oh, so it's funny because I wonder if that's legit. So Pat Gervin says, I see Mr. Carney wants to legislate against tinted windows. Federal legislation enforced by who? So I thought there was a big fake AI generated video that went out about tinted windows and lift kits. I think that's absolutely baloney. Like, I don't know why he would have any interest to it. So I don't think that's a legitimate claim. Although I did get a phone call this morning from Jerry Yeager on News Talk 1010 asking me about tinted windows. So maybe there's truth to it after all. I don't know. Here's the deal. there's already legislation against tinted windows. You can have a slight tint. You can't have so much tint that we can't see inside the vehicle. And we certainly can't have so much tint that it interferes with your ability to drive the motor vehicle safely. I've seen so many vehicles over the last even 48 hours that are so dark. I've turned to whomever was in earshot to say, I would rip that car's license plates off so fast their head would spin or their plate would spin. Anyway, I would take their plates away. They're unsafe motor vehicles and shouldn't be on the road. Trevor says the posted speed limit is for optimal driving conditions, not during bad weather. Thank you very much, Trevor. You're absolutely right. The deal is that if you are driving at the speed limit, you're doing so in perfect conditions. If you're going over the speed limit, you're obviously speeding. And if it's crappy out like it has been for the last couple of days, you don't necessarily have to go the speed limit. Doing 10 under, which is what the suggested is for rain, is appropriate. You need longer or more space and more time to stop when it's wet out, because your sticky stuff, the rubber underneath your vehicle, has a different dynamic, it treats things, it reacts differently when you apply that braking force. When you try and reduce friction, well, you use friction to, anyway, I'm not a scientist. When you try and slow down, stuff don't work the way you think it is. And then you end up taking a lot longer, if not losing control. So slowing down is really smart. Speed is one of those things that people don't take seriously, and yet it's really, really serious. And people who don't think we should have speed limits and the Autobahn is appropriate, well, they're just wrong. They're wrong. Go investigate a collision and then talk to me. Okay. Donna Summers, what's going on? Tim Mater, how you doing? We've got more from Pat Gervin, who says enforcement isn't being done. Enforcement is done. Here's the problem with enforcement. We have a finite number of police officers. Just because you haven't seen an enforcement being conducted in front of you doesn't mean it's not happening. It could happen 5 seconds after you pass an intersection, and enforcement is, in fact, being done. Is the focus tinted windows? No, it's not. It's not. The focus is on the big four. We're talking about the stuff that leads to serious injury and death on our roads. We're talking about the stuff that can be avoided, that people who choose to engage in speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving are well, they're doing it. It's happening all over the place. And those are the focus efforts. The big four are speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving. That is not to say that police are not enforcing other laws. They are absolutely every day doing everything they can to make the road safer. But there's only so many cops and there's way more offenders. So if you don't see the person in front of you who breaks the law getting caught, it's because there wasn't a cop there. That doesn't mean there wasn't a cop somewhere else doing pulling someone over for the same thing exactly that you witnessed. It's just, we need more cops. So I will say this. I think we need a lot more enforcement and we need a lot more cops. But there's a problem. There's not a lot more money. And people don't want to spend more money on taxes and hire more cops. And then we have the issue of, even if we have the money to hire more cops, we've spent so much time vilifying cops in the media that nobody wants to be a cop. I grew up wanting to be a cop. They were my heroes. I watched Chips on television. I had cops that came to my school, and I wanted to be a cop because I had great role models that were police officers, whether it be on television or in person, and family too. And now cops are the bad guys because the media have made it so. Music has supported it. Bullshit that's happening out in the world where one person does something wrong and then all cops pay for it. It's crap. But because of it, we have a hard time hiring police, or at least more of a hard time, a more difficult time than we did before. Used to be you had 100 positions, you got 1,000 applications. Now you have 1,000 positions, you have 100 applications. Or of the people that are being hired, you have you have many people who can't pass the background check or qualify, whether it be educational work experience or age, whatever the case is. There's different reasons why people aren't being hired. And it's sad. It's sad. And Trevor says, quite rightfully, police are bad guys until you need them. It's gross. And everyone's big and tough when they're doing okay, but when they need help and they're screaming for it, suddenly cops are great people. And cops are great people. They're putting their lives on the line every single day to go help people that they don't know, that they've never met, that they get called on the radio to go and attend a location, not knowing what's going to happen, and they jump into that, not knowing. They kiss their husbands and wives and children goodbye in the morning, never knowing if they're ever coming home. What other job other than the military has that? And with the military, you don't get to kiss your spouse and your children every morning because you're probably deployed overseas and you don't see them for months at a time. Another sacrifice. But anyway, I can go down and talk about this ad nauseum, which some people are already complaining about. Yes, Trevor says everyone's running out, cops are running in. Yeah, nobody else runs to the sound of gunfire. Cops do. Okay, moving on out. Let's go here. Nicholas Rizzi says it's an actual driving question. You'll be so proud of me. So Nicholas is famous for asking random questions that mean that are rarely or very just barely related to traffic. But this is a legitimate traffic question, and I can't read it because it's in the DMs, so it's a problem. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm just going to reintroduce myself here. I'm a former police officer. I left the Toronto Police Service last year at the end of it. I had a great career. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I actually miss it to this day. But that said, as I still contribute to the community by doing what I do now, I've started a not-for-profit called Better Traffic, where I aim to change driving safety education across Canada and one day the world. And I'm doing it here online right now. So if you got questions, I've got answers. Ask them, and I will strive to answer them. And then we've got Akela Draconis, who's jumped in with greetings and salutations. However, he is sick, so the jokes that he usually supplies for end of show may or may not arrive, and we totally appreciate that. We're just glad you're here. So if you've got dad jokes and you want to share them with the rest of the world, please let us know, because at the end of the show, I will read them, as long as they're I'll probably read them even if they are groaners. A couple days ago, I read jokes that ChatGPT provided. They sucked. They were the worst jokes I've ever heard, but we read them anyway. And if you're watching and don't already subscribe or follow, or depending on what platform you're on, because I'm on TikTok, Instagram, I'm on X, I'm on YouTube, and of course I'm on LinkedIn. So wherever you are, please follow and like and subscribe. And on TikTok, tap that screen so your fingers go numb. I see we already have 2,000 likes, which is wonderful. More likes is better. Helps gather more people to the party. The more people we have, the more chance we have of unique questions being asked that no one else has thought of. And of course, regardless of the platform you're on, you should be able to ask questions. It works. Even just tell me where you're from. It all helps. The Northern Cop says, I saw a video the other day about how police are vilified. The example was a doctor in another part of the country, not with doctors. Not all doctors are attacked over it. And same with teachers, but cop does one thing in one part of the world, and all police are painted with the same brush, and it's having a major effect on recruitment. I believe you are talking about a video where Frank Slope with the Pinal County Sheriff's Office in Arizona. I'm pretty sure I reposted that yesterday. Frank's awesome. He does Fridays with Frank. He is a traffic cop who drives a Charger out on the roads of Arizona. I got to go and see him this summer. It's gonna be hot, but I want to go down and it is. I'm not saying it's gonna be hot to see him. It's gonna be hot in Arizona when I see him. Please understand where I was going with that. He's watching and he's going, I'm creeped out. Yeah, but he and I have spoken a number of times, and he's absolutely right, which is why I shared it. And one of the reasons I'm talking about it today is because it's gross. It's gross. The media has, and I'm a friend to the media when they do things right, and I'm against the media when they do things wrong. But the point that you're making about police are the most, they're the most, what's the word I'm looking for? I have a word I use to describe it. I can't think of it right now. In any case, we are the only career, the only profession that everybody, the public, the supervisors, the civilian oversight, there's a gazillion different ways of policing police. But when doctors have like maybe one oversight, and there's insurance that covers it, so like they got to do really bad stuff, and then the police get involved. But lawyers, okay, lawyers occasionally get complaints, but they're not covered like police. Hippolina says hi. Player says hi. Legislated. My wife says legislate. Scrutinized. Melanie says it may be the word I was looking for, but boy, mom agrees. Scrutinized. It might be. Maybe it's scrutinized. I'm going to go with scrutinized. I'm going with Melody and boy mom's scrutinized. But I think legislated. I think they're all legislated. But that was a good guess. Ahmed says, haha, you're looking for jokes today? Of course I am. Ahmed came into the show a couple of days ago, had some great dad jokes. So we would love to have more dad jokes from Ahmed and anyone who's got them. Oh, God. Nicholas says, why don't we just print more money and have the government use that money for roads and schools and stronger police force and free pet healthcare? Oh, my goodness. Nicholas wants to know if I should be at the Woodbine Casino because the OPP open house today is from 11 to 4. I saw Kerry Schmidt put out a video saying that they were doing a recruiting event there. He never called me. He has my number. He didn't call me to invite me. So I'm not going. And so there. Listen, I have no problem with assisting with any recruiting effort. I'm pro-police, regardless of which police service, although I do have a bias with Toronto Police, I got to say. Speaking of recruiting, just to combat Kerry Schmidt's efforts to bring people to the Ontario Provincial Police. Oh, that's not the right place. I shared the wrong screen. Hang on. Stop screen sharing. That's what I see. That's the window that I see when I am reading comments. But this is the one I wanted to share. Don't always choose the one at the top of the list. It is not always the right one, just saying. If you go to tps.ca/careers, this is the page you're going to see. And if you want information about different jobs at the Toronto Police Service, well, we're hiring. So if you want more information about police constable, click on police constable and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We've got apply now button. It actually works. They're always looking for police officers. So go and read everything there is to know about policing right here before you contact a recruiter. Why do I say that? Because the worst thing in the world is to say, hi, recruiter, I want to be a cop. What do I do? And they have to tell you to go to this website and press the apply now button. You just don't want to look like you have made zero effort. And that's what you look like if you don't look before you go. Look before you leap, read before you apply, call, I don't know, do your homework. That's what I'm saying. All these things that say things you should know are likely things you should know before you call them for further assistance. There's a plethora. I like the word plethora. There's tons of information on the Toronto Police website. And on that website, you can learn not only about the position, but also the entire service. And you should know general information about the service and the community it polices before you are applying to go and protect that particular community. You know, if you want to apply in Toronto, learn about Toronto, not just what's on the website. Go actually learn about Toronto. Okay, other jobs, special constable. That's how I started. I was a court officer when I began my career. Actually, that's not true. I started as an auxiliary constable. So here's the best volunteer opportunity, although they may not have an opening right now. Auxiliary positions are a great way for you to contribute to your community. Best volunteer experience, bar none. And, it may turn into a situation like mine where I had so much fun as an auxiliary officer that I became a court officer simultaneously. I got to tell you, the reason I became an auxiliary, I had no plan on becoming an auxiliary, but there was a hiring freeze. They were not hiring police officers for a long stretch. So I became a volunteer and then became a court officer after learning about that position. And there was a position open. I even at one point was so bored as a court officer, not in a bad way. I was bored of being indoors. I wanted to have, shift work and be out on the street and be my own boss in terms of just, go out and investigate. Well, you can do that as a parking enforcement officer. Bicycle, motorcycle, well, used to be motorcycle, no longer. Car, drive around and look for people who are violating. Well, I wanted to do that because I was tired of being in the cells. But here's the big thing, and this is my favorite button to press: civilian roles. There are positions that don't require a uniform, that don't require a physical, that don't mean you're going to put yourself in harm's way, but you are supporting the people who go out and keep the city safe. So people strategy and performance lead. Don't know what that is, but it's a job with a great organization. It's people strategy performance management. I think that's what it is. Let's actually read it. All the information. Hey, look at this. You can figure out what this job is by reading the description. Who'da thunk? Information security architect, developer digital team, project leader digital team, solutions architect digital team. There's a bunch of digital team stuff here. UX, UI, business analyst in the digital team. I think they're launching a digital team. What do you think? Communications operator. These are the magical people who answer the call. And I mean that by they literally answer the telephone when you call and want help. Yes. They're the 911 and dispatch folks. Half the team is answering your call as the call taker. The other half are dispatching police officers to where you are. They're the reason people respond. They are the link. When you call 911, that's who answers. They're the most incredible multitaskers I've ever met. And if you need help, you're talking to them first, usually. Sometimes you just get lucky and we're driving by. It's less likely that we're just driving by. In any case, here we are back. Okay. Cool. Northern Cop says, yes, that was the video that I was talking about. Scrutinized is the word. He said the same thing. I should pin scrutinized to the top of the list today. Dre Studios, how are you doing? He says he's watching from Peggy's Cove. Hope your day is going well. So far, so good. I had eggs and boof. I had leftover hamburgers and I made eggs and I put the hamburger in with the eggs and I had an egg hamburger breakfast with Cholula's hot sauce. What's your favorite hot sauce? I mean that globally. Everyone watching, what is your favorite hot sauce? I want to know. Just saying. I need to know this. I really like the flavor of Cholula's. I also use Frank's. I was using what was my favorite hot sauce for a while. My buddy bought a gallon of it for me for Christmas. I burnt through that very, very quickly. And then I bought another gallon, which I will no longer consume because I found out that every serving has like 5 grams of sugar. And I'm trying to avoid sugar. So for the first month of me eating no carbs, I was actually like hardlining hot sauce full of sugar. Yeah, just saying. Okay. What do we got? What do we got here? For those who are tapping, I see 2.7 thousand likes. Thank you so much for the folks that are in the live stream doing the sharing and tapping. I appreciate you. What was I going to tell you? There was a whole point of me saying thank you. Please share it with people. There is no better way to promote than share it with others. It really does tell the algorithm that you're saying it's worthy of others viewing it. Yeah. If you know somebody who just started driving, doesn't mean, or someone who's been driving their whole life, there's probably something here they're going to learn. Something new they're going to learn. Okay. Hippolina says, anyone else ever jump on a live and all the questions you have just left your brain? Yes. I've done so many things like that. Dre Studios wants to know if I need some lobster. So this is a segment that goes out to Dale Barrett of Barrett Law or Barrett Legal. It's Barrett Tax Law, Barrett Legal. There's multiple firms here. So I got a lobster story for you. I've known Dale for a very long time. And once upon a time, my father, who's a real estate broker, had a client send him lobsters live, Halifax, I assume. And they showed up and he had a friend who owned a restaurant and they were going to cook up these lobsters. And he did. And he prepared the lobsters. Dale dropped by, had some lobster, and then was sick, the sickest he's ever been by his own description, after consuming said lobsters, and has vowed never to have lobster again, at least not cooked by me. So I think I'm good. But I appreciate the offer, Dre. Very kind of you. So after nearly killing my friend with lobster, it's not happening. Louis wants to know, I'm assuming is it Louis or Louis? Is it true that police can stop you in Toronto for no reason? Well, let's specify. First of all, it's not Toronto law, it's Ontario law. And if you're talking about the driver of a motor vehicle, then the answer is yes, because a police officer can pull you over to verify the status of your license, to make sure you have a driver's license, to make sure that you're sober. You're not allowed to drive with drugs or alcohol, so they can pull you over at any time just to essentially ride check you. They have to be able to check you to make sure you have insurance on the vehicle. Anytime, without provocation, without any other justification, just you're a driver, and as such, I can pull you over to check your license, your insurance, your sobriety. I can even check the status of your car in terms of whether or not it's safe. I can conduct a safety check, make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be. Now, we're not mechanics, although some are. Most of us are not mechanics, but there are major defects that we can pull you over and identify, and you have to comply with the checks. If you refuse, we can lay a charge for refusal. Now, if you don't identify with a driver's license, you fail to surrender. It's $110. If you don't have a license, it's $350, I believe. If you fail to identify, like you won't even tell us your name and address, we're going to arrest you. It's an arrestable offense. You must identify. And you're required by law to give a license, but you at very least have to satisfy with your name and address and stuff to satisfy the officer that you are who you say you are. If you have no insurance, you're talking about a $5,000 to $25,000 fine, up to 6 months in jail. That's for the first offense. Not having the insurance card on you is only $65. So it all depends. But yeah, we can pull you over for any reason, and any reason isn't no reason. There's always a reason. It's to verify your license, verify your insurance, verify your sobriety, verify your vehicle street legal safe. There you go. What is this? Anish wants to know, how are companies like Papa Ride legal? That seems illegal. Oftentimes, drivers do 12 plus hours a day. What is Papa Ride? Let's googly-goo this, and let's see what the story is, because I've never heard of Papa Ride. What is Papa Ride? Papa Ride. Legal? What is this? All right, hang on a second. We're going to have a look at this. I'll put it up on the screen. Papa Ride. Is it legal to carpool on Papa Ride? General definition of carpool. Carpool with Papa Ride is defined as a driver offering their empty seats to passengers heading in the same direction, sharing a trip's cost without turning a profit. Without turning a profit. That's important because if you are turning a profit, your insurance doesn't cover you, right? You have to have a special policy to be an Uber driver to make money on people as a driver. So that's if you're saying, is it legal? This is the first I've ever heard of it, but yeah, is it legal to drive somewhere? Are private drivers, are you and I who don't drive commercially responsible for having a maximum number of drivers? And why would someone do 12 hours of driving a day if they're not making like? I don't even understand the concept here. Legality of carpooling in Canada. In Canada, carpooling regular. Blah 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 blah. Blah. The trip is driver directed, meaning the driver decides on the trip's origin, destination, and dates based on their own schedule. So they're really just going where they're going and selling off a portion of the costs, right? At no profit. And they cite some legality here and thing. But so okay. Let's just go to the main. Let's go to the main website. Carpool for the planet. Join 1 million plus people who carpool between cities in Canada, and you can sign up for free. You can be robbed at gunpoint for free. I wouldn't do this. I don't want people in my car. Oh, wait, trust and safety. That's sort of what I'm getting at. Since 2015, members have safely shared 200 million kilometers on Papa Ride. How many people have unsafely shared it? In any case, I thank you for alerting me to something I'd never heard of before. This is again nothing I'd ever seen, and as such, I gotta adjust myself. Yeah, I've never heard of it before, so that's interesting. I'll have to do some research, but yeah, you're allowed to take strangers and split costs. That's I think what we're getting at here. What a cool thing, Anish. Thank you for sharing your info. But it's not they're not commercial drivers. That's the big thing. It's only a commercial driver that's regulated. Melody says should try out Front Street Heat Sarnia born hot sauce. Really? Okay. I will have to find that. I've never heard of Front Street Heat. But here's the question: is Front Street Heat a bitter hot pepper extract hot sauce? So I have a real problem with the ones that are bitter that are so if it's just the sides of your tongue that are reacting to the heat, that's chances are a cheap extract based hot sauce. I like a hot sauce that is full and flavorful and natural. Um, yeah, those are ones that they don't have to be extreme heat. I do like hot, but they don't have to be extreme heat to be good. They have to have good flavor. And ones like Legend, there was a hot sauce that was 600 Scoville units that I absolutely loved. Temperature and taste changed year to year based on the amount of rainfall in the region where the peppers were picked. But I really like good quality hot sauces. And that's one of the reasons I like Cholula so much because although it's a very general cheapy hot sauce, it's a nice flavor, although not super hot. Dre says, "Welp, I'm about to have lobster feast at Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia. I'm sure it's great. I think you'll be fine. If you don't call me in 2 hours, I'm going to send an ambulance. Okay, Dre. And let me know when you're back in town. We got to connect. So many things to talk about. Okay. Two Loki says, if you're a passenger in a car that was pulled over for a traffic infraction, I think you mean infraction, do you have to show ID? That is a fantastic question since we're on the topic of identification, to which I will put it on screen because it's so good. And that means I have to cut and paste. And then here we go. So you're a passenger in a motor vehicle. As long as you're wearing your seatbelt and you're not being investigated for any criminal activity or bylaw, like or any investigation for any violation as the passenger. So if you're a violator, if you're a passenger and you have open alcohol, if you're a violator and or if you're in a vehicle and there's open alcohol, there's marijuana, there's seatbelt related issues. If there's anything that you may be responsible for, then it would be legitimate to investigate you and ask for identification. If you were pulled over for speeding or the driver was pulled over for speeding and everything else in the car is legit, then there's no justification to provide or to demand ID, nor would you have to provide it. Now, a passenger doesn't have to actually surrender a driver's license. You may not be licensed, but if, let's say, a passenger is not wearing their seatbelt and the police officer says, you need to identify because you were not wearing a seatbelt, I'm making that allegation. I'm going to be writing you a ticket. Well, then you have to satisfy the officer as to your identity. Oh, let's see here. So that is that. Hope that answers your question. If you need more, let me know. What is this? Akela says, so it's more about dig before you call as opposed to the Ontario one call for digging. I missed what we're talking about there. I don't know what we talked about that branched off into you asking me that question. I'm confused. Okay, moving on. Brandon's back. Good morning, Sean, and all doing laps in the Oscar Mayer Wiener. No way. I'm really jealous, actually. He's doing laps in the Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile around. Will be in on the will be an Indianapolis Motor Speeds. Just wanted to jump in and say hi. I could not read that sentence to save my life. Don't know why, but I think it's because I was overwhelmed by the fact that you are going to be in the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. That's the coolest vehicle on the road. It really is so cool. I've watched so many YouTube videos of people getting to tour around, and apparently they do like a 6-month contract, like a short contract as a Wienermobile operator or crew. I don't know why I'm fascinated by this vehicle. It's just cool. It's heritage. It's history. LJ says, good morning, Sean. Can someone get a ticket if they won't let a car in from the merging lane? Well, actually, kind of, sort of. So while it's not your obligation to let someone in per se, it is not permitted to prevent someone from lane changing, feeder lane or not. So if someone's trying to get in and there's sufficient space and you decide you don't want to let them in, can you get a ticket? Well, not moving to let them in is different than moving to prevent them from getting in. Because if you actively work to prevent a lane change, you have committed stunt driving. And I'll just pull up that legislation because we have the technology. Hang on a second. I love this stuff because, well, I'm kind of a traffic geek. Okay. Also, on that note, I have texted back and forth with Sergeant Murray Campbell. We tried to get together on a phone call, but it didn't work out because where I was at Home Depot buying, well, dishwasher parts. Yeah. Anyway, we tried back and forth and we haven't tried again, so I got to give him a call. Okay. What am I looking up? I'm looking up speed. Okay, we're talking about stunt driving, not sticker mule, stunt driving, racing. And this is where I'm going to regulation 455/07, races, contests, and stunts. And I'm going to quickly look for, and I've read this a number of times on previous episodes, but I want to do it right now. Here we go. That's for prevent passing. That we know. But I thought it was also lane change. Change. Let's see. Change. I'm just going to do a quick search for. Okay. Change. Mark departure. Definition of stunt. Where is it? Come on. There's only two. Repeatedly changing lanes and that's not the one. Mark departure from the lawfully agenda. No. How about prevent? They don't use the same text all the time. So here we go. Driving a motor vehicle in a manner that indicates an intention to prevent another vehicle from passing. Okay, so if they're trying to get past you and you're weaving in and out of lanes to block them. Stopping or slowing down a motor vehicle in a manner that indicates a driver's sole intention in stopping or slowing down is to interfere with the movement of another vehicle by cutting off its passage onto the highway or to cause another vehicle to stop or slow down in circumstances where the other vehicle would not ordinarily do so. Does that cover it? Stop to interfere with the movement of another vehicle by cutting off its passage. So if you were to slow down or speed up, not to let them on the highway, I think that could fit. I thought there was a more direct one. Driving a motor vehicle in a manner that indicates an intention to drive without justification. No. I'm positive there's another one. In any case, I'm going to say yes. At very least, it's careless or even dangerous. Like, I think it qualifies for stunt. I just need to go and read, and I don't want to take up more time doing it. So I'm going to say yes, it's illegal. And even if it's just I don't know. It can't be. There's things in my brain I don't even know how they got there. Okay. You read so much stuff, it all becomes mush. I got to go back and analyze. Okay, what do we hear? Rizzy says, I'm a certified expert at asking questions that leave your brain. Very good. Nicholas is a star. What do we got here? Nicholas wants to know, if you inspect a car and it's completely street legal, it can just transform into a fighting robot. Am I still okay to drive while in the car asking for a friend? I've yet to find one of those cars, but I love Transformers. Okay. Hippolina says, how are rules around cyclists being implemented? I see a lot of reckless things in Toronto. Uh, you know, again, there's not enough police officers to cover every incident at all times. And sadly, more often than not, most infractions or most situations don't get investigated until something tragic happens, like a collision. Now, you used to catch them all the time where people are either being unsafe around bicycles or bicycles are being unsafe around motor vehicles. There's just not enough police officers to do everything. They do blitzes. Like, I remember when I was on the job, I was on B platoon at traffic services, and we would get notifications that, well, we're doing a bicycle safety blitz or we're doing a bicycle infraction blitz. And we'd be focusing our efforts on cars against bikes or bikes against the law. And we'd go out and we'd be paying closer attention. We're always looking for all offenses, but if someone says, let's focus on one topic, well, then we turn our eyes to that. We start looking for it. Normally, you're looking for the big four. We're focused on the high flyers, the speeders. Those people are making major moves. But when we're trying to drive education, sometimes we rearrange our focus to look at stuff that we may avoid. Not avoid's the wrong word. Not focus on. Yeah, we focus on the stuff we don't normally focus on. That's better. Billy McBeard. Billy McBeard. That's a beard, buddy. Oh. Billy says, I was stuck on the fact that he looks like he's from Harry Potter in the picture. It may actually, it's a tiny icon. I can't really see what it is, but I see a beard and hair, and I don't have a beard that long. I have a long beard. Let's go. Sean, my daughter wants a neon lit rear license plate frame. Legal or not legal? Not legal. And thank you so much for asking this question. I don't think anyone's ever asked me this question. You may not have a lit license plate frame, whether or not it is LED, actual neon, glow in the dark. You can't. So the only light that can be on a license plate is the one or two bulbs, depending on the way it's oriented on your vehicle. White light, 3 lumens or 3 candela or more light that illuminates the plate. That's it. If you change the color, it's illegal. If you have glow in the dark business or electric or neon, it's a distraction. You are projecting a light other than what is legal to the rear of the vehicle. You can only project amber or red to the rear, and that's signal lights or brake lights or marker lights. The only other light you can have on the back is white, and that is not to shine back. It's to illuminate the license plate. I would tell your daughter, if she doesn't want a $110 ticket every 6 blocks, don't do that. It is a heat score, draws a lot of unwanted attention to your vehicle from the popo. So yeah, you don't want that. Yeah. Is it the focus? Is it the 100% you're going to get a ticket? No, you might get away with it for a while, which gives a lot of false sense of security. People believe that it is okay to drive with it. It's not. It's not. LJ says, thanks. Next question. If my car breaks down on the 401, can I call my own roadside assistance, or do I have to go with the tow truck that shows up? Oh, no, you can call whoever you want, unless it's directed by a police officer. So if a police officer shows up and says, you are in an unsafe position, and because of my concerns for your safety or for the flow of traffic, I'm calling you a tow truck. It's going to be a contract tow through the police service or the region based on whatever rules are in place. You are taking this one. Well, then, yes, you must take that one because direction of a police officer. If you're talking about the magical, ABC towing that pulls up and says, let me get you out of here. No, you don't have to. You can choose to, but you don't have to. Now, if a police officer directs it and you have the CAA or another towing package that would have done it for free, I know that CAA will reimburse you. They will pay your towing bill because they have a reciprocal agreement, I believe, with other tow agencies. At very least, it's part of your membership package. It's not that you just don't want to wait for them. It's that the police are directing you. You have no choice. And go read your membership stuff and confirm it with them on the phone before you go ahead and do it. But it's been like that forever and ever. That's what I told people when they were being told they had to move. If you have CAA, call them. They reimburse you. It's a wonderful thing, especially after collision. Yeah, that's the deal. So you don't have to. And there's so many rules. And I know a guy who knows about tow truck rules. The magical Murray Campbell, sergeant at Toronto Police. He's the tow guy. And there's so many rules now that they have to abide by. And if they don't give you a receipt, if you don't authorize it, if you don't get a copy of it, like they're in violation. But so many crooked operators out there. Make sure you know before you go. Don't get stuck doing stuff with the tow people that aren't always legit. What do we got here? We got LJ off the screen, and now we got Melody. I can't tell you what it's like. I can't do spicy. It isn't, but it is very popular. Oh, this is in relation to the Front Street Heat in Sarnia. Well, I have a buddy in Sarnia who could likely toss a container of hot sauce in his in his backpack or in his trunk and just leave it there until such time as we connect. Although, if I come out to London tomorrow, which is a very good possibility, I might have to just buy some or get him to show up from Sarnia and pick it up for me. Anyway, Anish says, thank you for taking the question. Even when you didn't know the answer, many streamers just skip. I try. Now I can't remember what was the original question now? Papa Ride. That's the Papa Ride question. I'm just glad you brought up something that was something I didn't know and never heard about, because now I'm going to dig deep, and now I want to find out more and understand it. But I appreciate learning new things. This is as much for me as I learn stuff every single day. And LS wants to know if they can ask for advice. You can ask. I don't know if I have advice for you, but by all means, ask. And while you are busy typing, I will reintroduce myself to the world. My name is Sean Shapiro. I am a former police officer. That's right. I am no longer a cop, but I know lots of stuff and lots of things. And I'm happy to share that with you when I go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. for Ask a Traffic Cop After Dark. Talk about all sorts of stuff and things. And as you can see, if you've been here for more than a few moments, well, I am I'm talking about all sorts of stuff and things. It's not just traffic. It's wherever we go. Bad words master. Haven't we banned you yet? DEI detective. Is that what you are? You're a DEI person. They hired you because you fit a particular situation. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're getting at when they say DEI detective. But with the name Bad Words Master, apparently it's your specialty. Trying to be mean online. Oh well. If I only cared. Okay, OV Police says, Sean, how are you? All in caps, by the way. That's why I'm being loud. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. The live stream is alive and well, where we got connectivity. It's raining out, but otherwise doing all right. Plimsoll Punkery says, what are your thoughts on the safety of scooters, the stand-up type, and elites under 50cc now being permitted in bike lanes? They're not. Okay, let's back it up. Scooters not allowed in the city of Toronto at all unless something changed in the last 48 hours. They're prohibited in the city of Toronto, so they're not allowed in bike lanes. Elites under 50cc. Gas-powered vehicles are not allowed on bicycle lanes. Unless, listen, if there's something new, please send me a link, because I've missed that story if that's the case. But if we're talking about the law of Ontario, those can't be anywhere near. In fact, I was watching, what was I watching? I was in downtown Tuesday night, Tuesday night. And I saw an e-bike that was a fully, like, it looked like a scooter, not an e-bicycle, but an e-scooter. So it had a throttle, it had two people on it. It was ridiculous. In a cycle track. Well, as it turns into the cycle track, I'm like, that ain't legal there, because people don't even realize that there's a different designation for each type. There's a Shero, which is just a marking on the road that says there shall be cars and bikes in the same general area. Please be mindful. Then there's a cycle lane where e-bikes, anything that qualifies as an e-bike, can be in. No motorcycles, but e-bikes can be there. But the cycle tracks are separated. They're differentiated. They have a clear marking. There's either a raised curb or some kind of stanchion or planters or whatever, some separation from the road. Those are cycle tracks, and e-bikes that don't qualify can't be in there. And you can't have the one that looks like motorcycles, can't have the ones that look like scooters. If they have a throttle, they cannot be there. It has to be pedelec only, meaning you cannot just press a button and go. It has to be one where you pedal and it augments your pedaling. Just like you can't be in the park with a throttle-based e-bike. TikTok Dictionary says, if there's an openly racist cop in a room with 9 other cops, there are 10 racist cops in that room. Okay, so TikTok Dictionary is a douchebag. But listen, that's just suggesting that cops are racist. And you're suggesting then that all cops we have the most diverse police force ever. We have people of all walks of life. So you're saying that black cops and Asian cops and Indian cops and British cops and white cops and all cops, just because they're a cop, they're racist? I would suggest that you might be racist and you're projecting, because there are people who have beliefs, correct or incorrect. They have, what do they call it? Prejudice. Does prejudice mean racism? Sometimes. But generally speaking, it just means that they don't have an education. I can tell you that anyone who's a member of the Toronto Police Service has been inundated with training about every culture. We are brothers and sisters. We all work together. I don't think that you're accurate at all. Anyway, moving on. Do you know much about the Aurelia police stations? I do not. I know nothing about the Aurelia police. But Greg Marshall says, what do you want to know? So I'm guessing Greg may know, and Greg knows lots of stuff. Hippolina says, have a great day, guys. My break over. Gotta go. Take care, Hippolina. Great to have you on the show. Thanks for sharing and being involved. It's always nice to have active participants. The show goes better when more people ask questions and talk. So I thank you. I thank you for everyone who's been messaging and part of the conversation. What do we have here? Mike Bull sent a heart snap. I missed it. I didn't see it, but I see you and thank you. Oh, Melody says if I do make it out tomorrow, they can pick up some hot sauce at lunch. I got to confirm later. We're back and forth. I was talking to the kids about whether or not the options of seeing Lilo and Stitch versus going on a 10-hour drive, because that's what it would be round trip, I think, roughly. Sam says, what is this? Sam R. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, you've heard that a lot of people in Toronto send police to train in Aurelia? Do you mean now, of course, because you said Aurelia, I'm Elmer, Ontario, where the Ontario Police College is? Elmer, Ontario, not Aurelia, Ontario. Is that what you're talking about? I don't think anyone goes to Aurelia for anything. Maybe OPP has something in Aurelia where they train. I think they may have something in Aurelia. I don't know. That could be a provincial police thing. Greg Marshall says, he says the main police college is still in Elmer. But is there another police college that I'm not aware of? Okay, Brian says, how about those electric four-wheel buggy things that can occupy a live lane in traffic here in Durham? Apparently they have a full roof and are becoming more popular on the roads. Those, depending on whether they qualify under the provincial pilot project, let me pull this up for you. There's some interesting stuff here because there's a company that sells those things and most of them are illegal, and they blocked me on TikTok. I think it's hilarious. Sean keeps on calling us out for selling illegal stuff. Let's block them and continue to run advertising. I love the people who block me because they don't want to be found out or have their videos used against them. All right, we're talking about slow moving vehicle or low speed. It's low speed vehicle. Can't type today. Come on, I'm not lined up. Vehicle Ontario pilot. Ontario. Okay. Low speed vehicle pilot program. Let's get this up on screen. Here we go. Learn about using a low speed vehicle in Ontario. A low-speed vehicle is an electric four-wheeled vehicle that is smaller and lighter than a regular car. Low-speed vehicles have a maximum speed of 40 kilometers per hour. A neighborhood electric vehicle is considered a low-speed vehicle if it meets the requirements in Ontario. Golf carts typically don't meet the requirements for low-speed vehicles. Safety. While low-speed vehicles have similar features to a car, seatbelts, steering wheel, pedals, and speedometer, they have fewer safety features and do not meet the same safety standards. Okay, let's just get to the story. LSVs. Now, what is an LSV? Oh, this is the kicker, because the ones that you're talking about, I don't think qualify for this pilot, but they are required to have insurance and be registered through Service Ontario. The people pretending to have low-speed vehicles that are saying that they have mobility scooters that have air conditioning and stereos and windshield wipers, yeah, they ain't that. This is not the same thing, and they're all masquerading under baloney, selling you $6,000 mobility devices that aren't legitimately permitted on the roads. Well, they're just not allowed on the roads. Okay, let's go to what is the quality. Here we go. Here we go. You must have an odometer, a speedometer, a windshield defrosting and defogging system, headlights, turn signals, mirrors, a parking brake, seat belts, and a VIN. Then it says here, may be used on roads with a speed limit up to 50 kilometers an hour, may cross at intersections where there's a stop sign, traffic light, or traffic circle. If the maximum speed limit of the intersecting roads is not more than 80 kilometers per hour, must not be driven while carrying a child passenger younger than 8 years old, so strictly prohibited from having kids, must not have a sidecar or trailer. I cannot imagine. Anyway, I can't imagine. The trailer part I can imagine. Sidecar on a low-speed vehicle, I don't understand. Must not be used for an Ontario driver's license test. Could you imagine? Must display a slow-moving vehicle sign mounted to the rear of the vehicle. Must not be capable of attaining a maximum speed greater than 40 kilometers per hour on a level surface. Must not carry more occupants than the number of seating positions available. Okay, but this it really doesn't get into. And let's just do a quick check here. Enclosed mobility. That is not a low speed vehicle. That is what they're saying is a mobility vehicle. That is simply an illegal motor vehicle not permitted on the sidewalks. And people are riding these bloody things on the sidewalk. There's a 4-door version. And there's an article I was quoted in recently where a woman's walking with her child, I believe, and a dingbat in a 4-door version, only almost as wide. It was like what was it? 10 centimeters narrower than a Fiat 500 was on the sidewalk telling this woman to get off the sidewalk because he's a disabled person and this is their disability vehicle and they have priority on the freaking pedestrian sidewalk. Anyway, I lose my mind whenever I talk about this crap. Don't buy shit just because someone said it's great. Go research and don't talk to the seller who is biased. If the person selling you the $7,000 toy says it's legal, I would not believe them. But then again, the other problem is that half the cops don't know what the rules are either, and that's why I'm here to explain to you. Don't be them. Don't buy that piece of crap. Get a low speed vehicle that qualifies. That's legit. But even that, just buy a car. You still need insurance, either one. So hey, Jeremy McPherson. I thought it was Jamie McPherson for a second, and that's a whole different story. But Jeremy McPherson says, when being pulled over in a commercial vehicle, does it require a mandatory alcohol screening? Require? I don't think it requires it, but a police officer may choose to give everyone because you are required to have zero blood alcohol content. So if they, and they likely would, test you, whether it be by buccal swab to see if you have marijuana or cocaine, that's part of the drug testing, or choose to give you a roadside screening device test to check for alcohol. If you have anything other than zero, you're off the road. So it's not necessarily required, but it's a damn good idea. Yeah. Big Smoke 3 says, hey, Sean, hope all is well. Question: if I'm in traffic, but on my bike, can I get off and just walk? Like on your bicycle or motorcycle? And when you see, I think you mean motorcycle. I think I see a motorcycle in your picture. When you say just what are you doing with the bike? Pushing it through traffic? At that point, the vehicle is not active. You're pushing it. It doesn't fall under the driving laws that I can tell. I think you'd be okay. And if you can safely do it, I mean, it is a safety concern walking through. Well, you're in stop traffic. How unsafe is it? I don't think you'd fall into the category. If someone stopped you and said, "What are you doing?" You're saying, "Well, my bike stopped or overheated. It was overheating. I want to prevent being overheated, and rather than standing still, I can push my bike." I don't think you'd have a problem, and I think it would be reasonable. Is it legal by definition of anything? It's not illegal or legal. There's no law against pushing your motorcycle or pushing your car. It's operating your car, and is that operating? It's not being operated by engine power. It's by human power. You're a pedestrian at that point, and you are under. You're working. You're working hard. In fact, yeah. Okay, we're there. Melody says, "I'm pretty sure there's something in Orillia." Interesting. Police College in Orillia. That's what we're talking about. It's got to be OPP. Aurelia Provincial Police Academy. It's the Aurelia Provincial Police Academy. So it's their it's their police college. So in addition to the Elmer Ontario Police College, which is for all police officers from all services, that's the bedrock training. Then you have the Toronto Police College. I'm sure Durham Police College. Every police agency has their own college that they do their specific specialized training in. I had the good fortune to attend both the Toronto Police College and its predecessor, COBIC. Oh yes, with no parking. Let's see here. Sam R says we've got 4 OPP stations museum, and they use the old mental institution for training. Weird to see. Interesting. And Greg says Aurelia OPP GHQ does some specialty training for various forces. Cool. Never been up there. I wasn't special. I went to I did my motorcycle my initial motorcycle operator course. Well, not my initial. The original one back in 2002 or 3 was done at Jane Street. It was all done in house. And then I went and did my new fancy course at the Ontario Police College in Elmer. And then we did our level 2 and level 3 in Toronto and Peel. What we got here? Brian says education is so key on both ends. Absolutely. Education is like what everybody needs. Ipsit Girl says OPP A's they do. OPP as they do. I don't know what that message means. Oh, I've seen so many other services at Aurelia, not just OPP. Okay, so we're talking about the Aurelia Center. And as Greg says, they train other police services for specialized stuff. I've just never been special enough. Not my specialty. They must be other specialties. But they also host events. Like we have one of my buddies hosts or runs the what's it called? The breath and drug expert course. They do that as like they host different places and have meetings and police people visit. So interesting. Jeremy says, thank you, sir. You're very welcome. Greg Marshall says, sneaky way to lane filter. Dude, if lane filtering is by on foot with the engine off, that's not just sneaky. That is an excellent source of exercise. Could you imagine? Yeah, I can't imagine. It defeats the purpose of being on a motorcycle. Big Smoke says, wouldn't do that on a highway, but residential street, I've walked it to save it from overheating. I totally get it. Big Dog and Nick said, follow the host. Thank you so much. Let's see what we're going on here. Nicholas says, oh, Nicholas is saying that the person wasn't calling out cops for being, when the one guy said, if you have one racist cop in the room and there's 10 other cops in the room, they're all racist cops. Nicholas is trying to say that if you have 5 cops and one cop is doing illegal activities and the other cops know about it but don't do anything, then you have 5 bad cops. I don't disagree with you in the situation. In the way you've put it, I agree with you. If someone is aware of someone doing illegal crap, that makes them complicit. But to simply say that if you have one person who in their mind is biased or has bias, the truth is everyone has biases, everyone has prejudice. But I was not assuming that the person was advertising their racism. If they're advertising their racism, yeah, they need to be documented, they need to be dealt with. And absolutely, you're right. So if that's what you were going with, whomever said it earlier when I was chirping at you for alleging that all cops are racist, if it's in this context, well then I take it back. That's was a better point. I just didn't get it communicated well. Yeah, if there's someone who's openly racist and you sit idly by and allow it to happen, then you're bad too. But simply where I'm going with is, I don't see that. Like I don't see it happen. I've never been experienced with people who are horribly racist, even not horribly racist. There are people who make jokes about everything. I mean, just part of the world. People make jokes, and generally speaking, it's about criminals, not criminals based on their ethnicity. But that's another story. Is it illegal to wear earbuds in your helmet, playing music so loud you can't hear around you? No, it's not. It's not smart. It's not a good idea. It also causes hearing issue, but it's not illegal. You can wear headphones and you can wear earplugs and you can be deaf. Like there's no hearing requirement in Ontario for driving. There's eye tests, not ear tests, not hearing tests. I guess it's not an ear test; it's a hearing test. Big Smoke says, "Wish we could lane split." I got mixed emotions, mixed opinions, mixed thoughts, mixed. I'm mixed up. The deal is that I understand because as a police officer, I was able to lane split. I was able to do it for enforcement purposes. It's dangerous. It is dangerous. The places that you can do it in the States, California is one of them. If you go to the California Highway Patrol website, it says it's legal, but it's dangerous. And have you seen how bad the drivers are in Ontario? Actually, drivers everywhere suck. People think they're great because they haven't hit anything today, but that doesn't make them good. It makes them lucky. So the deal is that I did it. It was horribly dangerous. I did it for enforcement purposes. I totally appreciate why it's good. And I also appreciate that it's dangerous and shouldn't be a thing. But I get it. I get what you're saying. It would be great to be able to cut through traffic and get where you want to go. And for that reason, police motorcycles are the best way to get police officers to a situation. If you need to get through traffic, and traffic in Toronto is like the worst in the world as far as I'm concerned. I can't stand it. But if I got to get downtown to save someone's life and I got to go through everything, no one's getting there faster than a police motorcycle. And if you go to Daytona Beach, they have police motorcycles, fire motorcycles, and ambulance motorcycles. It's a whole bunch of motorcycles. So Big Smoke says, I agree it's dangerous, but I find it can be helpful in certain circumstances. I get it. I get it. Lights Out says, is it considered distracted driving if you have your phone on a windshield mount to use it for GPS? Contested, and it's contested by one person. My former partner says it's not legal in that scenario. I've always read it to be legal in that situation, and I'm going to read it to you now. I'm going to open it. I'm going to create a window. We're going to look at distracted driving laws. Driving Ontario OREG. Distracted driving. Here we go. Okay. I don't think this is what I wanted. This is distracted driving. Novice drivers careless. I'm looking for, to avoid distracted driving, turn off your phone, switch to silent mode, put it in the glove compartment. That's not helpful. Okay. Well, actually, this is kind of helpful. So here is the distracted driving page. So what my buddy says is that the interpretation that everyone has been operating on since I have been doing this has been that if it's mounted and it's in GPS mode and you don't touch it, then it's legitimate. That the use is permissible. Okay. So here we go. What counts as distracted driving? Ontario's distracted driving laws apply to the use of handheld communication entertainment devices and certain types of display screens. While you're driving, including when you are stopped in traffic at a red light, it is illegal to use a phone or other handheld wireless communication device to text or dial. You can only touch a device to call 911 in an emergency. So it doesn't actually, this is not complete, because not only is there case law to support that what's being deemed permissible is to swipe to answer and you've been, according to the courts, you've been allowed to hit end or send, not dial, which is correct here, but they've not addressed that. They're saying you can only touch the device to call 911. That's not the understanding based on the way the courts have handled it. Use a handheld electronic entertainment device such as a tablet or portable gaming console. Yes, you can't use that. And touching or holding is using. Not even if you're picking it up to look at the clock, that's using. View display screens unrelated to driving, such as watching videos. Okay. So this is if you've got a display screen that even if it's your passenger's Instagram and you're looking over to see what's going on and sounds like fun, that's illegal. But see here it says view to screens unrelated to driving. So if you have a GPS, so a GPS device can be visible. You're allowed to look at it. And actually, it says it right here. But you can't program it. So you have to set it and forget it before you hit the road unless you are using voice commands. But here's where it says you are allowed to use hands-free wireless communication devices with an earpiece. Okay. So you can press the button on the earpiece to hang up and answer or hold the wireless receiver, transceiver. You can view GPS display screens as long as they are built into your vehicle's dashboard or securely mounted to the dashboard. Now that says GPS display screens. It does not say cell phones displaying GPS, but a but a but a GPS that is not a cell phone. I see. This is where we get into the is a GPS mode legitimate? This is very airy fairy, but it has long been the belief, and I support that if your phone is displaying the GPS app, it is a GPS device at that moment, as long as it's not displaying or capable of displaying anything else. In other words, you can't touch it, you can't interact with it, it can only display the map. Well, it's a map now. Other actions such as eating, drinking, grooming, smoking, reading, and reaching for objects are not part of Ontario's distracted driving law. However, you can still be charged with careless or dangerous driving. I say that all the time. This is still not the page I was talking about. So I hope this helps. I thought I took this off the page earlier. I don't know why we're still looking at Rizzy's comment. And yeah, we've gone deeper down the hole than I thought we were going to go. It's an hour and 11 minutes after I started yapping online. Let's just check in here. So lights out. The answer is it's contested. I believe you are good to go. 99% of the police service thinks you're good to go for viewing, but not touching, not interacting with, other than by voice. My old partner says, nay, the way he reads it, which is not the page I was on, but I'm trying to find it. Yeah, you should be fine. Maybe I can find it now. Here it is, display screens and hands. Hang on. We're going to just beat the crap out of this horse that's dead at the side of the road. And I mean that by way of not an actual horse. No horses were injured in the discussion or even in my thought process. I am simply looking at exemptions. Let me find GPS. Doesn't even... GPS doesn't even show up in the OREG. So that's how obscure it is. Computer screen, equipped. So okay, exemptions. You can if you're employed by or on contract with the road authority. I'm not going to do this now. I said I was, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to read 9 pages of stuff to find that it's not actually here, because I couldn't Google you it quickly. Because he and I were arguing over breakfast about whether or not it qualifies. So, exempt devices. The display screens of the following devices may be visible to any driver in a motor vehicle driven on a highway. A device that displays information on the conditions, use, and immediate environment of the vehicle, or information on road or weather conditions. Information on road or weather conditions, wouldn't that be a GPS? An interlock ignition interlock device, a car audio control, a handheld device. A handheld device that displays only text or static images and is connected directly into and operates using the audio system. So that's a device that's on CarPlay or whatnot. I like that they don't put plain English in here. Exemptions for law enforcement officers are irrelevant for this discussion. Exemptions for other public functions. No, we don't care about that. Commercial. No, we don't care about that. Amateur radio operators, drivers who hold a valid valid radio operator certificate issued under the Radio Communications Act of Canada may drive a motor vehicle on a highway while holding or using a two-way radio. I'm actually going through the process of getting my amateur radio operator certificate right now. Exemption for pressing buttons. A person may drive a motor vehicle on a highway while pressing a button on a handheld wireless communication device to make, answer, end a phone call, or transmit or receive voice communication on a two-way radio if the device is placed securely or mounted in the motor vehicle so that it does not move while the vehicle is in motion and the driver can see it at a quick glance and easily reach it without adjusting his or her driving position. I think that wording may have changed recently because for a long time that was not the case. I need to make a video about this one. And you can press your anyway, I'm sticking with my whole thing about that. You're okay as long as you set it and forget it. Okay. Oh, Greg says that lane splitting in France is legal if you're under 15 kilometers an hour. Well, I will tell you that 15 kilometers an hour would be something I'd be okay with because that would mean that the traffic you're passing is not moving and 15 kilometers an hour is slow enough that it would be safe. I think they say 30 miles an hour is the differential that's okay in California. It's suggested, like no more than that. I would say no more than 30 kilometers an hour, even if you're in a car in the HOV lane passing stop traffic. Like speed differential is the biggest problem. Big Smoke says, you give the best learning opportunities. Part of the reason I want to become a police officer. Thanks so much, Big Smoke. I appreciate you. X says, I recently got pulled over and they said I needed a permit for my wing. Are you saying that you have a spoiler and you need a permit for a spoiler? Are you in BC? BC has some weird crap about adding stuff to a vehicle. So if you have a non-factory modification, they want you to have a permit for it. Where are you? Or do you have actual like wings on your car? I want to know more. Lights Out says, thanks. You're welcome. Alex says, in BC, law says you're able to pick up in BC, the law says you're able to pick up a call if your phone is mounted on the dash. Yes. So I support that. If it's mounted, one touch to pick up the call, one touch to answer. Alex goes on to say, if you're an Uber driver, you can touch the phone mounted to accept a ride. Okay, we don't have that kind of exemption here. There are stuff for taxi drivers for specific devices. Katra says, what if I'm playing music on Spotify on my cell and it has video? Is that allowed? If you're playing video, and that video is visible to you, visible, that's illegal. That's you, $615 ticket. X says, I'm being serious. He pulled me over and I got a ticket for my wing that I had in Toronto. It was a carbon fiber wing and they said I failed to apply for a permit and gave me a ticket. Failed to apply for a permit could be transferring your vehicle into your name, could be it's not for, there's no, okay, the permit that ticket is for changing the vehicle into your name, changing your address, changing the color of your vehicle, changing the displacement. If you put a 6-cylinder engine where it used to be a 4-cylinder, that if you did that, you would be required to update your stuff within 6 days. If you wrapped your vehicle and you didn't change the color, but not for your wing. The wing, there is no permit required in Ontario to add a wing. Please DM me. I want to know more. Send or email voiceovercop@gmail. I want to see the ticket. Like I want to know more. I need to understand because that doesn't make any sense. It's funny, but it's terrible. Alex says, so in Ontario, Uber drivers are not allowed to accept rides according to law. Correct. They're not allowed to read the screen. They're not allowed to swipe and look for rides. They're not allowed. They need to be parked legally in order to do that. That is correct, Alex. Dave Price says, so I can't play your shows when I'm driving. I do it all the time. If you were to have the version of if you're watching on X as opposed to YouTube, if you're on X, you can actually close the screen so you can hear but not see. That would be legal. Do that while you're not driving. And then you can listen while we're driving because you're listening, not looking. If you're on YouTube, you need to be subscribed to do that. And if you want to listen to replays, you can always go to your Spotify or Apple Podcasts or a number of other podcasts. iHeart Podcasts also plays our stuff. If you synchronize, you can listen to older episodes, not live, but you could listen while you drive without burning your data or breaking the law. It said vehicle modified, failed to apply for a permit. Do you have the section that you were charged under? Maybe there's a new law. And you're saying Toronto. Vehicle modified, failed to apply. This is OREG. I'm looking for this. Vehicle modified, failed to apply for new permit. Set fine $85, $110, where a vehicle for which a permit is currently validated is modified so it does not correspond to the description of the vehicle in the permit. The owner of the vehicle shall apply to the ministry for a new permit for the vehicle within 6 days after the modification. There is nothing on your permit that has anything to do with the spoiler. That is a baloney charge. And I'd love to know who laid the charge so I could chirp him personally. That's not an appropriate charge. And if I chirp him and he says I'm wrong, let him prove it to me. DM it to me. Yeah, I'm assuming you got an OREG charge. It was an Ontario regulation charge. Yeah. So that applies to you modified the look, so you have a color change. You modified it. You made it a 4-door into a 2-door. You chopped it. Like you had to. There's only so much information on your permit. Did you change the engine? Like I want to know more. Okie dokie. I gotta go. It's 20 minutes after 1. 20 minutes after the hour, which means I've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. And I said today I was only doing an hour. I said I was going to do that. Then I always go long. I do. Let me just have a look here. The Real Walker Texas Rangers joined and says that's a charge that came in at the end of the month for sure. Well, that's suggesting that there is a what do you call it? A word just escaped my brain because it doesn't exist. We don't have quotas. No quotas. There's no quotas. I never use that button. Anyway, yeah. Oh, we got dad jokes. We have 2 dad jokes. I'm going to read them because Nicholas sent them to me. Okay. I had not pre-read this, so I'm a little worried. I'm a little scared. We'll see what happens. Dad joke. I just finished ordering a chicken and an egg off Amazon. I'll let you know soon. That works. Which one comes first? We'll know. Okay. Cop says you're under arrest for downloading the encyclopedia. Me. Wait, I can explain everything. That's actually pretty good. Greg says, great seeing you. Have a great day. You too, all. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great weekend. Drive safe, drive sober, park legally, because Erin will just, she'll write that ticket. She has the authority, and I don't anymore. But I will be back on Monday at 10 a.m. to talk to you about your weekend, to talk about stuff and things. So get ready with all your questions about stuff and things, preferably traffic and safety and law and stuff like that, but police stuff. And tell me about movies. Tell me if you see Stitch. I want to go see Stitch. That's the movie I want to see this weekend. I want to see Lilo and Stitch with my kids. We loved the actual movies. Now we need to see the live action one and see if it sucks. Because if they do to it what they did to Snow White, I'm never going to another Disney movie. There, I said it. Okay. That's big words. Okay. Have a great weekend, folks. We'll see you soon. I know it's a